M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A. Gotta love millennials. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A. Gotta love millennials.
As a millennial, I'm part of the most advanced crop of humans that our species has ever seen.
Time to check my social media, yeah.
To see who loves me online.
Hashtag blessed life.
Good. What's the problem?
The other problem, to compound it, is we're growing up in a Facebook, Instagram world. In other words, we're good at putting filters on things. We're good at showing people that life is amazing even though I'm depressed.
I want you to hold my phone like this. It has to be leveled.
All right. Perfect.
Now, let's add in technology. We know that engagement with social media and our cell phones releases a chemical called dopamine. That's why when you get a text, it feels good. It's why we count the likes. It's why we go back 10 times to see if my Instagram is growing slower, did I do something wrong? Oh my God. Do they not like me anymore, right? The trauma for young kids to be unfriended.
4 people have unfriended me on Facebook, and that's
right? Because we know when you get a hit of dopamine, which feels good. It's why we like it, it's why we keep going back to it. Dopamine is the exact same chemical that makes us feel good when we smoke, when we drink, and when we gamble. In other words, it's highly, highly addictive.
I get to feel a dopamine rush that gratifies me for 37 seconds each time I check my phone. And then I feel anxious again. And then I check my phone again.
These dopamine-producing devices and media, basically it's becoming hardwired, and what we're seeing is as they grow older, too many kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships.
I like my friends' online personas better than their in-person personas, so I don't associate with them in person anymore. And I can say with confidence, I have literally never held eye contact with anyone.
They will admit that many of their friendships are superficial. They will admit that their friends, that they don't count on their friends, they don't rely on their friends, they have fun with their friends, but they also know that their friends will cancel on them as something better comes along.
We're becoming so connected wirelessly that we're becoming socially kind of disconnected.
Deep, meaningful relationships are not there because they never practice the skill set, and worse, they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with stress. So when significant stress starts to show up in their lives, they're not turning to a person, they're turning to a device, they're turning to social media, they're turning to these things which offer temporary relief.
Oh no, I'll die.
Where's my phone?
It gives me life.
Now you add in the sense of impatience, right? They've grown up in a world of instant gratification. You want to buy something, you go on Amazon, it arrives the next day.
I order something off Amazon, it pisses me off that it takes until the next day for it to arrive.
You want to watch a TV show? Binge. You don't even have to wait week to week to week, right? I know people who skip seasons just so they can binge at the end of the season.
Oh my God, I need help.
Instant gratification. You want to go on a date? You don't even have to learn how to be like, hey. You don't even have to learn and practice that skill. You don't have to be the uncomfortable one who says yes when you mean no and says no when you mean no, but yes when you... You don't have to swipe right. Bang, I'm a stud. Right? You don't have to learn the social coping mechanisms.
My dating life is on point. I have no problem getting the courage to ask a woman out on Tinder. And there's no question that the best way to create a deep, heartfelt connection with someone is to connect to their online dating profile while I'm hiding behind a keyboard.
Right? Everything you want, you can have instantaneously. Everything you want, instant gratification.
One day we're all going to wake up and we're going to be internet avatars, kind of, right? More important of what we are rather than who we are, texting rather than talking.
My generation is ambitious.
Innovative.
We are connected, expressive.
We are millennials.
There are tons of misconceptions when it comes to what we really care about and what we believe in.
They say we don't care. That we're the selfie generation. That we're lazy, apathetic, They say we're just too attached to our technology.
I think the biggest misconception is
Social media has both defined our generation in wonderful ways and totally ruined us.
Engagement with social media and our cell phones, kids don't know how to form deep, meaningful relationships.
It also makes them perhaps more informed, more empowered, and gives them better access to information and to take action.
Social media helps with advocacy, staying up to date with different causes or different things that are going on, not necessarily in New York, but just all over the country.
To be a millennial is to be somewhat misunderstood, and maybe nowhere more so than at the workplace.
We're living in a different world than when my grandfather was in the workforce 50 years ago. The world is different, right? The fact that our employees that are in New York and in California, if you were 50 years ago, they wouldn't even know who each other were. Now, they talk to each other every single day on video conference. They're friends. The workforce is so different, so I think the problem is that employers didn't adapt. And it made millennials say, well, wait, this isn't the way the world works. Forget about the way millennials work. This isn't the way the world works.
Right, that's right. That's exactly right.
Author of Leaders Eat Last, Simon Sinek tackled the so-called millennial question in a talk that went viral last year.
I get so much pushback from companies saying that it's not their responsibility to take care of millennials. Millennials need to figure things out for themselves. That's all fine and good, but the reality is these are your employees. And if they're coming with new challenges, doesn't the company bear some responsibility to create a corporate environment in which someone can feel like they're learning and growing?
Yes! Yes!
Millennials are a generation that is very much about sort of owning and controlling their destiny in a way that kind of other generations haven't been.
A shift away from the workplaces of the me generation of baby boomers.
I think boomers bear a lot of responsibility. They were the ones who sort of pioneered these new business techniques in the 80s and 90s, and many of them are senior executives now. And those boomers are the ones sort of demanding that people do things the way that they see the world. I think it's the Gen X and the millennials that are going to shake things up and change the world for the better.
There's no better time to be alive than right now. All that we're able to experience with technology, just access to everything. Like, I'm so happy to be 23 in 2017 and having the whole world ahead of me.